Water prices in St. Helena have risen in the last few years. What can you do to make sure that these higher prices do not affect residents' ability to remain living here?
So this is a question when the water rates went up, and they're going up again in November, by the way, but when they went up in 2016, I recognized, because of my background growing up around water and flow, that something was wrong with the analysis by the consultant. And what they did was an economic analysis rather than an economic and engineering analysis. And so I believe that the numbers that we got and the rates that we set can be adjusted with proper engineering analysis. And so when I got on the council, I started pushing to bring these engineering groups in here to reanalyze how we're doing our water rates. So right now, in the last couple months, we've got 2 engineering groups coming in to look at our water rates. And the first one should be done within the next couple months. And I believe this is going to give us the data that we can adjust these rates. We're paying the highest rates in the Bay Area for residents, and it's making it very difficult for people to live here. Some people in Napa County are being priced out of their areas by the water rates. We can do better. We have an old water system that hasn't been re-engineered in years, and by re-engineering it and creating efficiencies, we can make it better for businesses and residents. And we can do it soon, quickly.
Okay. Alan, and of course, if anyone needs the question repeated at any point, by all means do. But
the direct answer to this question is that when the new water rates went in, we also increased the subsidy program, which is funded out of the general fund, which helps ratepayers in lower incomes with their water bills. There are standards for that, but I'm certainly open to looking at that again and increasing the income levels for qualification. So that's the direct answer. The other answer is that our systems, as Mr. Ellsworth said, are old. We are under tremendous regulatory pressure to upgrade them, in the case of the wastewater system, to meet the terms of a cease and desist order. We cannot violate the terms of that without risking serious fines. On the water side, we have to remove the dam, which is very expensive to us. We have upgrades that are being demanded by the State Water Board, and we have to move through these problems that cost a lot of money. Now, we do have an engineering study, as Mr. Ellsworth said. Certainly, I'm completely open to evaluating what it says when we get it, but do I think it's going to result, at this point in time, based upon what I knew, do I think it's going to result in any material rate reduction on the water side, which is where this study is focused, not the wastewater side? My speculation is no in terms of being material, but again, if there's fine-tuning, I'm all for it and would support it, as long as it's well supported in the facts.
Jeff, you want another minute on this one?
Yeah, one of the things that we do that's different than almost any other city in California is we provide water outside of our city limits to many, many large industrial users. And we like having them as customers because they buy our water. But right now, the way the rates are set, we're not looking at making sure that we're charging them what it costs for us to get it to them. So these engineering studies should give us the data to show what the proper equitable prices should be. Our largest users should be participating in making sure that we're upgrading our systems. It should not be all on the backs of the residents of the town. So these engineering studies should give us the information that we can have a good conversation with all our customers and say there's a better way to do this.
All right, Alan, 1 minute on that.
Look, we've gone through 2 cost of service studies in the last couple of years, and they've followed standard rate methodology. We've done our best to align cost with service. Again, if there are tweaks, I'm for it, but keep in mind when you're dealing with out-of-city customers, we also have out-of-city residential customers. They've been longtime customers of the system, and we have to treat everybody equitably. We just can't focus on the industrial users. Everybody's entitled to a rate that reflects fairly what it costs to get the water to them. And at this point in time, I have no information that that is not properly embedded in our current rate structure.
Okay, 30 more seconds if you need it. Jeff?
In talking about out-of-city customers, residential users and industrial users can be classed differently. So it's not as if everybody would be put under one rate. I think we can leave it there, but it's been recognized by the city itself that the previous rate study was really substandard, and so we're waiting for the data, and that's going to tell us how we can move on.
Alan, final word on 30 seconds on that?
Where the previous rate study was viewed as substandard, it's not on the water side, it's on the wastewater side. Very important distinction. These are two different enterprises. Each of them must stand on its own footing in terms of being operated by a business and raising and having the fees necessary to support them. I don't want any of us to spend more than we have to, but these are old systems. They require a lot of capital, and a lot of time and energy, including by me, has gone into looking at the structures and trying to come up with a way to finance that keeps the cost down as low as possible.